Good morning, everyone. As Reverend Bob said, almost, or at least twice a month, I've been helping our sister temple in Placer, and this week I'm finally able to come back home to the Betsuing. And it is a treat for me to be able to share the Dharma with you this morning. Actually, Reverend Bob said, "You haven't spoken to our Dharma school in a while, so why don't you talk this Sunday?" So here I am. I would like to officially welcome you to our first Dharma school service for the Lunar New Year. This is also our last Sunday for the month of February. And you know what happens next week? Does anyone know? It is the beginning of the time of the year which we call March Madness. This is, of course, in reference to the many basketball tournaments that will be happening around the country in our communities. And our Betsuing will be having our annual basketball tournament on the weekend of March 7th and 8th. When I was growing up in Fowler, I tried to play basketball. I had heard that my mom was a pretty good basketball player in her day, and maybe that's why my parents had encouraged me to play for the Fowler Buddhist temple basketball team. Fowler is a small temple, and we didn't have a gym, and we did not have instructional basketball league to help us understand the game and to develop our skills. So for those of us who were completely oblivious to the game of basketball, we did not have a clue of what we were supposed to be doing. It felt as if we were somehow just expected to step out into the court and instantly and magically know how to play. It doesn't work that way. Growing up on a farm, we didn't have any areas near or even around our house but concrete or asphalt surface. So there was a reason that I grew up not really bouncing a ball of any kind. You can imagine that when we were expected to play basketball, my dribbling skills were non-existent. I don't even remember our team even having any practices. We just showed up at the gym. We were given a jersey, and we were expected to play the game. So in other words, game day was our practice. From my perspective, it seemed to me that most of my friends played pretty well. But I just never really seemed to understand what we should be doing. Again, from my perspective, I just felt that perhaps I was just physically challenged to play this sport. I do remember feeling that my mind was never sure what my body should be doing. Then the final humiliation came that ended my basketball playing career. My budding basketball career was squashed before it could even get started. During a game, my coach was yelling at me, even more than usual. And finally, she took me out of the game. She must have been pretty frustrated because she pulled me aside and told me that perhaps basketball was not my sport. And that's actually putting it mildly. She told me that I don't need to come back for the next games. Aww. I recall feeling crushed because I wanted to continue to be with my friends and to try to play basketball. But looking back, I must admit that I also felt relieved because the stress of trying to play a game I did not understand was no longer there. I also did not miss the coach yelling at me. Years later, I was pleased that both my younger sister and brother both excelled at playing basketball. Actually, they were both good at sports in general. And watching them play helped me to understand and to appreciate the game. Fortunately, years later, when I was in my 20s, I found great enjoyment in playing volleyball. It didn't require bouncing a ball. And it was so much fun socializing with everyone while we played. I realized that playing basketball was not my sport, but that there are other activities we might enjoy and actually do better. Although my volleyball days are now long gone, I have now found enjoyment in occasionally golfing. Fortunately, again, golf does not require bouncing a ball either, and it's so much fun socializing while we play. One of the most essential teachings or practices of Buddhism is self-reflection, to know ourselves. Sometimes we may find ourselves reflecting on events that happened decades ago and realize how they have impacted on our lives in so many ways, great and small. At the time we were living through those events, we may have felt them to be good or bad, happy or sad. But in looking back, I find that they were simply the experiences of my life. They were all part of the karma of my life. Nowadays, parents might be upset with a coach that told their child that they lacked the skills to play a sport. But looking back, for me, it was liberating to learn early on that I can't be great at everything I do. Knowing the reality of failure has been an important part of shaping me into the person I am today. Many of us have heard the story that Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. That rejection played a huge role in making him arguably the best basketball player that has ever played the game. My getting cut from the Fowler Buddhist Temple basketball team may not have motivated me to become an all-star player, but it's helped me to consider more deeply what things define who I am. And it certainly would not be basketball. This reminded me of a quote that I really liked from the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama said, "Remember that not getting what you want is sometimes a wonderful stroke of luck." And looking back, being cut from the team was a stroke of luck for me and for Michael Jordan. Buddhism teaches us that truly understanding ourselves is a lifelong process. Who we are at 5 years of age is very different than the person we are at 15 or 25. And that is why the exercise of self-reflection is so essential in Buddhism. It is said that the historical Shakyamuni Buddha would go off by himself every day for 4 hours to meditate and reflect. He would every day make the effort to reflect and review and reconnect with his humanity. Reverend Bob have often said, "We are now living in this day and age. We are the most well-scheduled people that have ever lived." It is so true. When we think about the busy lives we have, we might think it would be impossible to find 4 hours a day to disengage from all that we are doing and simply reflect and meditate and reconnect with who we are. But it's still really an excellent recommendation. It's a recommendation that comes from the Buddha himself. And although we may not find hours in the day to reflect on our own, we should still try to take time every day to remember what is really important in our lives. Even if it's only for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we should try. It'd be like a power nap that revives and revitalizes our outlook. In taking moments to reflect and remember again what is really of value in living life, we can regain our perspectives and be better prepared to make the decisions that shape our lives with clarity. One of our favorite quotes from the legendary coach John Wooden is this: "Failure to prepare is preparing to fail." That is true. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. The Buddha might say, failure to self-reflect is preparing to make poor decisions. And this too is true. With a deeper understanding that we are not defined by whether we are able to dribble a ball, make the team, or win a tournament. What is really important in life, we already have. If we are sitting here in the Hondo today, we already have what is important in life. How fortunate we are just to be able to see and to hear, walk and talk, to have arms and hands, to reach out and hug a friend. And we can hear the Dharma. Buddhism encourages us to see that every day, rain or shine, every day is a good day. Every moment is a wonderful moment, never to come again. To live with such awareness and appreciation is to live a life of Nembutsu, a life of gratitude. As most of you know, karma literally means activity. Karma is a word that encompasses all the causes and conditions, all the people, all the events, all the activity that has created our lives, and this moment we are now sharing. Every experience, every person in our lives is a part of our karma and has, in ways great and small, shaped our lives and has made us who we are today. The life of the Buddha, who lived 26 centuries ago, and the life of my momentary basketball coach are both connected directly to my life right now, today. They, along with the countless people and events, are all a part of the karma of my life. All of these things have brought me to this moment today and have made me who I am. So let us try to take this awareness with us and try to make a little time each day to reflect and reconnect with our humanity and remember again what is truly of value in living each day. Will you please join me in Gassho? In taking moments to reflect and remember again what is really of value in living life, we can regain our perspectives and be better prepared to make the decisions that shape our lives. And in taking time each day to reflect and reconnect with our humanity, we remember again what is truly of value in living each day. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.